and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule today to talk to us. Start by telling us your name and what you do in the Kalinago territory, and particularly here on this lovely site.
All right, my name is Miranda Langlais. I am, my Kalinago name is Ulika Kabakaba, which means butterfly.
Oh,
And
wow.
if you look on my chain here, represents my name and my character, my whatever, So, I am the leader of the Karina Cultural Group. I've been managing the group, I've been directing the group, leading the group for 28 years. And I have led a group in many activities and travel all around, the Caribbean and North and South America. But the Karina Cultural Group, we have we we do a lot of activities. We do like the Miss Kalinago, every September 19th. We celebrate Kalinago Week, but we have extended to a whole week of activity. So, among the activities, we do the Miss Kalinago, which I am the director, of course, of that pageant. So I train the girls in talent, and the talent wrong. The contestants has to choose a talent of social problem in the territory, or legend stories, or what you call, they have to display a legend stories. Another interesting thing is that they have to tell a story. Like one of the contestants, they might choose a story about the 1940 war. Because why we celebrate the 19th of September, the Kalinago Week, is because of the 1940 war. There was in 1940, there was an uprising in the territory. So that's why over maybe, couple of years, since 1981, we started to observe it as Carib Day. And then from that, then, we as I as a cultural leader, and then cultural leaders in the territory and other persons in the territory, we have decided, it's important that we keep the tradition alive. So we continue. So the pageant with us is the talent wrong. We have the costume. So the girls, they appear in their traditional costume, and then the costumes we use traditional beads,
Yeah.
lauma, traditional things of nature, and also their costume also depicts escalated chair, the spirit of the rock, Hayali, the bird, or the Cicero, or something legendary, something about the history of our culture. And also we have the Princess Natari also. Sometime we have this year, and sometime we have another year for the princess.
Yeah.
Couple years ago we did. I was able to coordinate the two pageants together, but of course, sometimes
Difficult.
it's difficult because of finance, or sometimes, so. But however, it has made a mark in the territory. Every Kalinago week, people always look for that pageant, because that is, for them, they always say that is the highlight of the whole activity, because people love pageantry.
Yes, yes, yes.
They love
And they love
pageantry.
to see the lovely
Yes,
ladies.
lovely ladies, and it has really, yes. So I was able to coordinate that pageant. It's very hectic, it's a lot of hard work, but it's a
So
nice
do you
pageant.
find that it's easy to get the young people to be part of your cultural group on a whole?
Um, yes, well, sometime, because sometime to get them in the home, so sometime they go to school, sometime they will go to high school, or sometime, but I always encourage them. Always encourage them to, people be part of the cultural group because it keeps them occupied. It helps you to be creative. It helps you to think positive and also to your heritage. I always tell them that your heritage is important.
Yes.
Makes you who you are and feel proud of who you are. So that's why because a lot of some of the students, sometimes they drop out of school and nothing really to do. So I encourage them to join the group and learn to drum, learn to sing, dance, and then and then through the cultural group, then, able to travel. So you see different culture. You see the indigenous culture. Like, for example, when we go to Suriname on the other South American media, so we meet our indigenous people.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah. And also you learn your heritage, you learn about your culture, how proud you are. And of course our ancestors are very strong people, resilient people, fighting all the European powers at that superpower at that time. So all these is to help them bring their identity, that self-consciousness, that awareness
Yes.
among, in them. Yes, so.
Is there any aspect of the Kalinago heritage that's not being practiced very actively now that you'd like to see revive? Is there anything you feel passionately that we should be doing that has not been done before?
Yeah. One passionate thing I would like to see is the language. The language, it is important. The language is very important. And if we can bring that out, if we can, we can have the, like we can have the Ministry of Education, if we can have the Ministry of Education. Right now we have the new PAL representative, Mr. Kozia Frederick. He is, he's very historic. He's a history, history and whatever. So we can, we can ask, I think we should, we should have gone a massive drive to, to start the language in the school, in not even the school, in the preschool, and even from babies, and then for the cultural, we have workshops, we have in the school, primary, secondary, a university, and I mean college. That would be good. But I think that is the most important thing. Although we have all the other aspects, like the craft, the herbal medicine, the marriage ceremony, we're just starting that. We have the renaming of our Kalinago name. But the language is important. I really would like to see that language that's, that our leaders, our chief, or new pal rep, and people in the community and cultural leaders that take it on board, even the tourism people, yeah, because those people, it's very important. And then, because I just be amazed when I hear, like the Chinese speak their language, African people speak their language, other races, can speak their language, and then, although we have a lot of research to do, but we can get there. We can talk it. Yes.
And you said that in your group you do some
Yes.
work with. So how do you do it in your group? How do you introduce the language?
Well, we have language classes, like when we come to rehearsal, before we start with our dance lesson, we practice our dances. We do have little traditional. We do have little language lessons. Yeah. For example, there's a lullaby. There's a little song we sing, Abba Biaba, which from 1 to 10. So we sing it. We made it. We sing it. I made the song.
So you're a songwriter?
Yeah, I'm a songwriter, and then I tune it and whatever, and we put words together, and then we made those songs there. And very beautiful songs, very, very beautiful songs. And sometimes we mix it in English.
Can you sing a line or two?
So, yes, a couple of years ago, the Salibia Core School was just right next to the Church of the Nazarene, just before, a couple years before the hurricane. And so the Salibia School were based there. So UNESCO did a program with the territory, us, the cultural leaders in territory. So we decided to, take the language. So I remember I and Mr. Frederick, the present Parliament representative, we started the workshop together with my group members, and then so I decided, okay, we are going to teach the children the Kalinago names, the numbers, and words. But one beautiful thing that came out of that from the workshop was I started teaching them the Kalinago numbers from 1 to 10. So, and then I tuned it, and then I teach them, and then the children started to sing it. And then at the end of the school term, I was able to help them to present it, at their graduation. It was really good. In fact, our group are singing it now every day. We are singing for the tourists and visitors whenever we go. So is Aba, Biaba, Ilua, Biabri, Uwakabo, Apoko. Yeah. So anyway, I'll say it for you. So it goes like this: is Aba, Biaba, Ilua, Biabri, Wakabo, Apoko, Wakabo, Apoko. Aba lao yagone, Biaba lao yagone, Ilua lao yagone, Biabri lao yagone, John Wakabo, John Wakabo, John Wakabo, John Wakabo.
Thank you.
Yes, it's from 1 to 10.
Yes, yes.
So the children are singing it, and my group are singing it. Yeah, so it's a very nice, yeah.
Okay.
So it's from 1 to 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you just, before we end, tell us some of the festivals that you celebrate throughout the year? Kalinago festivals. Because you mentioned before, you have festivals and you have ceremonies.
Well, as I say, well, normally we have Christmas, like now Christmas, which we have the Christmas serenal and whatever. But because of the election, it's kind of quiet a little bit. But anyway, things will pick up again when everything
So
settles down.
what is the seminal about?
Serenal is about traditional music in the old times. The people would go around from home to home, bringing Christmas cheers, singing. And then you have the people would, pass, like, have sorrel, ginger beer, and then you would have cassava, you would have coffee, of cocoa tea, you would have, local bread, or you have a big pot of yam, wild yam, and then another thing that they would eat also was shatai, which is the shatai, we call it guenpe, bread nut.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So Chatail is the Kalinago name?
No, it's not. It's a French name.
Okay.
Yeah. But that, and of course those culture was brought to us by the French, because Dominica, we had at that time French occupied Dominica, before changing hands again with British.
Good.
So that part of the tradition stayed in Dominica. So the Kalinago people adapted as well, and then so it was fun. I mean, going out, having fun, passing home to home, it was fun. Then after Carnival, after Christmas, then you have Carnival. We have Carnival in Dominica, but we also have our Carnival in the territory. So the people, they come, they take their drums, and then you have different bands all in the different villages, because you have, in the territory, you have 8 hamlets. So you have each village having their little carnival group, their carnival band,
Yeah.
And then people come and, everybody sing. Again, they sing social, sing songs about, things that happen in the community, about somebody or whatever. But anyway, so, and then at the end, then you have, again, we are the only one who has the 3 days of carnival. You have Monday, Tuesday, and then you have Wednesday, which is Vaval.
Yes. Tell us
Vaval.
about Vaval.
Well, again, Vaval, it's a French influence. It's a French influence, but for some people it's French influence. But before our ancestors, there is certain time around that area, they would burn, they would burn the old carnival spirit, Vaval. So, although Martinique and Guadeloupe are doing it, whatever. But even the other indigenous communities are doing it as well, like in Brazil and those other countries. So we adapted a couple years ago, and then it has able to bring momentum and bring tourists to the territory. So we have, instead we have 2 days, we have 3 days. Yes, and then you have the burial, bury it at about 8 o'clock in the night, where people, they make a coffin, they go up and down the road, the street, and then when about 7:30, 8 o'clock, they burn it in, not very fast. So, to burn the old spirit of Carnival. Because, and then after that, then you have Lent, and then between May, June, July, it's kind of whatever, quiet. But the main activity, our main Kalinago activity is September. Yes, September is a very significant moment for us. During the 1940 war, we had an uprising, and then so after that couple of years, it took quite a while before we could recognize it. But in 1981, the then Chief Hilary Frederick, deceased. He died now. So he was the one who started. And we, the Karina Cultural Group, well, I was a founder member of Karina Cultural Group. So we started, talking about it and start organizing it. So, and then from that, then every year we start organizing, we start celebrating it. And then we add up activities, because we have an events committee as well in the territory, all cultural leaders and chief and council, and people in the community.
Just one last thing is, if you can just list, we talked about the festival, you can just list the ceremonies, and then how you think what would be a message to tell the young people to pick up on all these things, the festivals, the ceremonies, the language, so we can close up with that. What are the ceremonies that you're doing now?
Well,
you have the weddings.
Yes, we have the weddings. We have the weddings now. Anybody, not only the territory, but anybody who likes to marry Kalinago, then you can, I'm the one and my husband and the group, we do the ceremony. And because it is a very beautiful ceremony, very beautiful ceremony. And then also we have another ceremony, renaming of your Kalinago name. Yeah. This is again, you would have to do it on your birthday or during Kalinago week. During Kalinago week, we do the ceremony at Baranauti, near the waterfalls, and there's a beautiful pool. So we do a smoking, and then we have, cultural leaders like Mr. Paris. He was the one who gave the name, and then my husband and I and a group members, we do the bathing. Yes, we give them a bath, and then we give them the name, and then we give them a bath. So it's a very beautiful ceremony.